Well, hello, welcome back, everyone. Mike here. We'll let a couple people get on and see who joins this week. Get the conversation going on Hondas. We were, well, I'll wait till people get on and see. Usually takes a couple minutes for people to kind of get notified and get on in here. What's up, Steven? How you doing, man? Oh, just another long day in the life of a business owner. So today's a 14-hour day. So maybe 15. We'll see. Just long and tiring. Busy month ahead. So we're kind of gearing up for the Black Friday stuff. So, but it's been a very good start to the month. So I can't complain because usually a lot of people will hold off and not order till Black Friday stuff. So it's good. So yeah, we'll wait for a couple people to get in real quick. If you guys have joined, go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know you're here. Oh boy. Hey Mark, how you doing? Long time no see on here. Hope the car is running good. So yeah, so we're back for another Mondays with Mike. We're going to be doing it all month long in November for sure. Oh yeah, cylinder 3, suspect. Yeah, shoot me a shoot the question in. That's what the channel's for. So here to answer any questions if I can. Some stuff when it comes to cars, it's hard to tell, without being there in person, but definitely can always try to help at least. So yeah, shoot the questions in. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm afraid the car's fine. It's just not going to make the power it needs to make. And I would probably look into starting to do a refresh with at least pistons. Yeah. Well, it's, I'm having the same thing here. Mark, it's just, there's a lot of weird stuff going on lately, man. I don't know what it is. And I've got a couple people that got parts and filed claims, and the credit card company sided with them, so we're out maybe $6,000-7,000. It's just what happens, I guess. I don't know. It's been I'll kind of go into one aspect the other day. Some of you guys might have seen it mentioned online, but I'll wait for a few more people here to talk about it. Yeah, I mean, your best is taking the engine out and just doing a quick rebuild and get it back on the road. I don't know time-wise what you have car-wise, but all right, front pipe, there are several rattles. Oh, this is easy. You've probably got it actually in the wrong part of the urethane. So what you need to do is go under the car, Steven, and look. There's 2 holes on the front pipe for the 11th gen. Just check everywhere and look underneath, see where it's rubbing. Usually you have to move it out of one of them and put it into the other. Could be the heat shield actually rubbing on it. That's normal. Right there at the power steering rack and the chassis, there's a lot of heat shields. So that is my best recommendation. So I would start with that and kind of look at your options when you go under there. You should be able to move it and kind of mimic what the front pipe's doing when the car is going. And you'll see if it'll have some movement. You'll see if it hits anything. But yeah, that's the best scenario. Yeah, so we had, so let me rewind this a little bit. Well, I've got a lot of topics to talk about tonight, and tonight's going to be a really good video. We've got Black Friday stuff to talk about. I don't know everything about our Black Friday deals yet because we get email from the companies to let us know. We've got some stuff just kind of going over shipping stuff. Had a lot of people that are just I don't know if they've never ordered parts before anywhere, or just don't understand the supply chain or the fact that literally every company is out of certain things. But we'll first start with this one. So we had our 11th gen Civic engine, the 1.5 turbo. We took out of the car, perfectly running fine, to do the K series swap. The motor was mint condition. I mean, I'm talking like crazy good. Anyways, I got a guy that hit us up on Instagram and saw the pictures and was like, "Hey, man, I want the motor. Like, I blew mine up. Um, will you do a good deal for me?" And I said, "Yeah." So shipping the engine was in Arizona. We have to ship to Miami, um, which I averaged out at like 300-400 bucks. So I said, "Look, we'll just do 2,800 for shipping included. Everything shipping actually almost cost me $1,000." Um, but I didn't make the guy pay. I just paid it. Unfortunately, I don't know how many of you have ever ordered an engine transmission online. They basically always come on a pallet. It's shrink wrapped cardboard and usually has a bunch of bands on it to keep it from kind of getting damaged. So, customer gets the engine, I would say probably about 7-8 days after he paid for it with us, because you have to schedule it's totally different. You have to schedule freight. It's different than shipping with UPS or FedEx, even though FedEx, both of them do freight. So, anyways, we ship it. He gets it. He writes me with some pictures and a video. After he signed for it and agreed to, that he was cool with getting it, the trucking company dropped it off. So he sends me pictures. There's probably 3 damaged plastic little pieces or sensors, which are very common every time you buy an engine. Like, they don't typically come with the engines. Usually the harness will be cut. You won't even get a good harness. And the dipstick was broke. Now, the other thing that ended up breaking, and I don't know if it was him or if it fell off the truck or whatever, is the power steering pump was actually, the pulley was broken. Now, when you buy an engine, you technically aren't buying all the accessories. I just decided to include it because I didn't want them. And I figured, hey, this guy can do what he wants with them. They're extra pieces of the engine. I also included the turbo, which I haven't shipped him yet because now he's threatened legal action. So, but he wanted me to replace the whole engine for free, or basically just give him the one that I shipped him and refund him like $1,500 for all the hassle. And I simply said, like, look, I can send you all these sensors. I literally have them on another engine here, and I'll send you a power steering pulley with the pump, and you can just switch them out, which takes probably like 15 minutes, maybe. And he was not cool. So we'll have to figure out what's going to happen with this engine. I don't know if you guys saw it. I posted it on Facebook. So we'll see. We'll see if we have a stupid lawsuit from someone that doesn't understand stuff. But I mean, just so you guys understand, when you order an engine online, like, not every little piece is going to be perfect on the engine. You are buying the actual engine. So just so you guys know, if you're ever buying one off eBay or that, eBay's where I buy a lot of mine. I've always had good luck. Yes, it usually has damaged sensors. That's totally normal. You're actually just buying the actual engine. So anyways, so there's that. So I'm dealing with that. Like I said, I've got several people that did chargebacks, which are no fun. And yep, it's just what it is. This industry is cruel. But right now we have a lot of back orders going on, certain things. A lot of parts are getting finished up, so companies will have them in stock for Black Friday deals. I mean, that's usually what the whole thing is. They, let the summer kind of fade out, sell out of all their parts, and then get a bunch in around October. Black Friday deals, we'll be posting those up on our website. We'll actually have a big like carousel on there, which will show every company and every discount code that you can use on our site to get the discount for the parts you have. That's usually the best way to go around it. Um, if you're going to mix certain parts, we can do like codes. I don't know. I still have to figure out. A lot of people will just lower the price of everything on their site. Um, and obviously, like that helps because if you buy one Acuity thing, one PRL thing, one RV6, the price is different. So I have to just figure out how we're going to work everything. And I haven't figured that out because Black Friday is a lot of work. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Steven, that's fine if you post up in here. I don't care. I've always been anyone that's bought from us, I've always vouched for them in the forums online or let people know they're a good person or a good seller. I'm here to make money and I have a business to run, but I'm also, you guys have supported us by bringing us business. So yeah, totally. That's fine. But yeah, it's been an interesting year this year. I mean, obviously, as a company, we're growing. It's definitely been the best year we've ever had. Um, and it's thanks to a lot of people and a lot of hard work this year. And we've changed some things with the business. I've hired a couple people and brought them on. So there's a lot of changes with that. That I have to get used to as someone that likes to be hands-on on everything. But I think definitely going forward, I think you're going to see a lot of good stuff with Axion, and hopefully we can keep growing and being one of the leaders of aftermarket parts in the community. So that's my goal, anyways. So yeah, if you guys have questions, just shoot them at me, and I can answer them. There's quite a few people in here, so if you haven't joined in before, just leave a comment, introduce yourself. I know there's a ton of people watching. I know a lot of people are going to be very busy tomorrow night. So hopefully all of you will go out and vote tomorrow. I'm not saying who to vote for. But at least go and do your earned right to go out and express yourself. So hopefully we get a good turnout and you get the person that you want into office. So I already know who I want into office, but I can't really disclose that. Obviously, because I have to be kind of neutral with business, but I am supporting the person that is probably more, car friendly. I would say gasoline friendly, less red tape. So stuff like that. So I guess you guys will get the picture. But whoever you vote for, good for you. I voted like 3 weeks ago. So PRL HVIs are in stock. If you order, it'll ship tomorrow. 1 to 3 day shipping free. So I've got those. I've got the short rams. I've got the intercoolers. The only thing I don't have are the inlets. Obviously, they've been gone. I got a few of my back orders shipped. So PRL got some done, but they didn't get enough done to fill all of them. So I have an order for like 30 that I'm supposed to get in here, and I only got 2. So they only got rid of some of them, which kind of sucked. So, it's just part of what I had this order in with PRL since June. So to give you guys an idea, I ordered my inlets. Sometimes I'll have the orders placed with PRL, so they drop ship. Usually it'll get it to the customer faster on back orders. But I did a stocking thing back in June, and I got 2 out of 30. So that'll give you an idea where PRL are at with their inlet pipes. I do recommend just pre-order those and wait, because at this point, I don't think you would even get one if you wanted to wait necessarily till a company has them in stock, at least till maybe January, February, March. Who knows? Oh yeah, thanks, Mark. Give a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Trying to keep growing the channel. Like I said, unfortunately, it's not monetized in any way, but it does support the business and help my business by getting it out there with a lot of good content, what I feel, so people can, place orders via YouTube or whatever. So I make money that way. Rocking the old school Acuity. I've had this sweatshirt for probably like 5, 6 years now. I don't know. No, I've tried to monetize it twice. They still won't. I don't know why. They don't tell me. I've I did like a rebuttal against them and they looked at it and they won't give me an idea of what it is. I mean, for all I know, there's probably some button I haven't clicked on the video to turn something off that I have no idea. So, um, I don't know. Has anyone actually talked about that being a thing, or is that just some people want that to happen? Because I honestly have no real contact at PRL anymore. Direct, manufacturers we have to buy through a portal website. Um, Not even through PRL. They're just a manufacturing company now, and then they ship all the parts to this outside company that then ships it to us. Um, so I don't really get a lot of feedback of what they're up to, what new parts are coming out. I wish I did because, like always, I support PRL 100%. So, well, either way, if it's the valves or the pistons, you're going to have to take apart the engine. So, I mean, I don't know your car situation. So, oh, okay. Well, if there's a prototype, then it's probably going to happen. Oh, wow. Jeez. Man, I feel as someone that is um, prestigious dealer award. I really am left out of the loop when it comes to anything PRL anymore, unfortunately. I mean, I'll probably get an email the same as all the other dealers. I feel there's certain ones that are kind of in the picture a little bit more than people like me. Um, but yeah, hopefully they do bring us something. It'd be cool. I mean, I think it would sell. So it's probably a little bit easier maybe to get than their inlet, their titanium material. So uh Acuity Shifter, Mark, is out January, hopefully. So I just talked to Russell at Acuity. They're just finishing up final testing of it. Then they have to order all the pieces, then assemble, then they can launch. So probably January. I would even think it might be February, probably. So nice. I mean, that'll be a really good addition. I mean, I kind of feel bad for all the people but bought the titanium ones, but good for PRL. Keep pushing, new parts coming out, and obviously we're gonna have them if that's something. So yeah, keep an eye out. I'll make sure I post it, and hopefully we can get some in here and have a chance to kind of look at it. Maybe do a review on one on the bench and look at all the parts up close. So yeah, that'd be some good. I kind of heard something a few weeks ago about it, but I didn't really look into it. But that'd be killer. Yeah, I mean, for the Type R guys, I get it. For the 1.5 guys, I don't think it'll ever happen. I think reason probably why they're doing it is because Acuity's coming out with a carbon intake at some point too. I don't know if that was just for a race car, but there was a new Type R that had a Acuity inlet pipe that was on it. And there was only a couple like real up close snippets, so they didn't give you the entire idea of what the thing looked like. But knowing its Acuity, it's going to be phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, you could always go get a K24 block, take the head off, do your valves real quick, throw it back together. That's just another option. Most likely an engine with that kind of miles, it's the rings. I mean, is it smoking bad or, usually that's a sign of the rings going, burning oil. One more update, our 2-liter 2-in-1 Type R style downpipe should be done in 3 to 4 weeks. I'm hoping that's the final goal. So yeah, we've got quite a lot of pre-orders from them, which is good. So Dang. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few companies that bring out the carbon stuff. Yeah, I mean, the full inlet intake's probably gonna be like 2,200 bucks, somewhere around there. It's a lot of money, but I mean, it's Type R money, you know? I still don't understand on certain parts why, for like one car like a Civic 1.5, a carbon intake would be like 900 bucks, but for the Type R it would be like 2,000. Interesting. Well, thanks everyone for coming in tonight. We're going to be back every single Monday for all this month, just because there's a lot of stuff going on in the industry. Right now, we've got SEMA going on. It starts tomorrow. We're not there because I just kind of got tired of going, to be quite honest. I know that probably seems hard for people that have never been to SEMA. It's just for a long time, there wasn't really much gains for people like us going, especially last year. Like Honda pulled out of it, they weren't even there. So this year it looks like there's some good cars. I've seen some pictures, but it's the same. A lot of it's the same stuff every year. So we'll see. I'm sure it's going to be a bunch of Integra Type S's, Type R's. Um, you know, um, what are the biggest K series misconceptions? I don't really don't think there is any. It's one of the best four-cylinder engines ever made. Um, I just went to Busch Gardens for the first time, and I didn't think it was that great, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, I grew up at Six Flags in LA area, and I really like that park. Knott's Berry Farm is really cool. Universal's cool. I really like the Florida parks, to be quite honest. A lot of cool stuff there, especially with everything opening up soon next year in May. Biggest misconception about the L series definitely is the fact that it's a garbage motor. I mean, I don't know what people expect out of these things. I mean, the fact that you can do a bolt-ons and the thing makes 340 torque and 300 wheel horsepower, OEM 1.5 is pretty impressive. Is it going to last forever? No, it's just, part of these things when you start maxing out engines, I mean, it's an L series 1.5, so um, and it's just what it is. But I think calling the engine stock is, like I said, there's so much clickbait material out there. Like, I mean, honestly, I think one of the biggest things that, at least with my age, um, the internet is a horrible source for information, but it's also good at the same time. Um, so many people just want to say things to get, a rile out of people, or, get, thumbs up, or just whatever it is. So, I still think the L series is a great motor. That's why I put it in our Honda Fit. So, yeah, I mean, direct injection it's not the greatest thing. But these are things that the EPA have forced companies to do. So, I mean, there's some good points to it, and there's some bad points to it. Um, I'll take port injection any day of the week over direct injection. Ugh. Yes, sir. Tomorrow is a very huge day. Um, I guess it just depends on who you are, whether you're cooked or not. So, I mean, we're not getting into political stuff here, but it's a big day. Yeah, the auto start stuff is just horrible. I mean, that's more EPA garbage. It's just, like I said, government overreach, trying to tell you what to do with your car. While they let billionaires and that just pollute everywhere, and get a pass, Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it would have a little bit less horsepower if it was port injection, but you probably wouldn't have as many injector fails. I mean, but I understand why they do it. Port injection with the turbo actually works pretty good. The cooling effects on it are much better than port. Yeah, I know. It's just ridiculous. I mean, look, we can try and be as good as we want in this country, and I'm all for people helping the environment and that kind of stuff. But when places like India and China just do whatever they want, it's kind of pointless. I mean, the whole world has to get behind, you know, one thing, and it's not EVs. But people like us, the common people, we're the easy target, guys. It's too many people are paid off in government, and they're worried about an intake on a 1.5 liter like it's going to ruin the world. Fact is like, like I keep saying, like I was explaining to my wife, like it's just so funny how you can put a carb sticker on an intake, but one without a carb sticker is illegal. And it's like they do the exact same thing. There's no difference whatsoever. But the reason the carb one is approved is because a company went and paid the EPA $50,000 to get it approved. And they spent a ton of money taking a car to the referee station in California. It's all these things. It's an easy way to make money. I mean, it's really what it comes down to. Part of why we left California. But yeah, guys, if you're in here and you haven't commented, please comment, ask us a question. I'm here to help out. So this is the thing. If like PRL wanted to get a carb sticker, okay, for one of their intakes, they can't just send the intake to the EPA or California. Basically, what happens is PRL would have to buy a brand new car. They would then have to send the car completely stock to a California referee station that the EPA approves. The car would then go through testing, and then they would install the intake and make sure that the intake worked properly. And then they would get a carb sticker after they pay a bunch of money. That's how it pretty much works. So think on, some of these small companies, how much money they would need just to make one intake for a Civic 1.5 liter. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I mean, that's how it works. But yeah, I mean, the fact that a Mishimoto intake on a 10th gen Civic versus another intake, one pollutes and one doesn't, it's complete false. I mean, it's just Mishimoto's like a massive company that can basically, pay for these things. Yeah, well, the thing is, all these companies that you see, they're all owned by giant million-dollar businesses that even don't give two shits about the auto industry. They just buy these companies to make money. And with the auto industry being like whatever it is now, $17 billion industry or whatever it is, these companies that don't even care, they just see it as a business. They don't care what kind of avenue it's in, whether it's in, auto, it's in, electronics, they want to make money. So they invest in these companies, they buy out these companies, and that's what happens. I mean, private equity, the fact that like, I see people like buying from Fitment Industries all the time, and they do a really good job. Don't get me wrong. But when, the owner of Fitment Industries has over like, you know, $150 million in cars, and he doesn't even technically really run it anymore, you know, there's, I always question, why are you supporting companies like this? I mean, they employ a lot of people, they do some good. Um, but I always say, like, look at the companies out there that specialize, like us and several others, um, and support them instead. I mean, sometimes you're going to get way better pricing. I mean, I had a guy that literally was like, "Well, I contacted Fitment and they told me the 18 by 9.5s don't fit on 11th gen Civic." Well, yeah, they don't own one. How would they even know? I mean, they don't know everything. And now they're trying to sell engine parts there, and it just makes me laugh, and they're just trying to gobble up the entire industry away from companies like mine and different ones, and just, control everything. And that's really what the private equity companies are about, unfortunately. And so it's just how it is. And hopefully, some people are very loyal to companies, and which I'm very thankful for, because we get tons of people that continue to keep coming back and shopping with us because, one, our customer service is fantastic. And two, I actually know what I'm talking about when it comes to these cars because I've owned half of them and modified them. So it always helps. But there are definitely good companies out there. There's certain ones that I'm like, just not a big fan of. And I mean, if you go on to a website and you see, number one, um, Honda, Toyota, Subaru, Chevy, Ford, get out of there, dude. Like, it's just basically, this website is a ported in website because they're probably owned by a private equity company, and they don't even put the parts in their website. It just comes from a database that goes in there and populates it. And half the parts, they don't even know if they work or not for the car. They're going off of some database telling them that they work. Which is why, like, a lot of people will get parts from us and say, "Hey, I have an 11th gen, but this is a 10th gen Civic part." It's because a normal company that ports in parts wouldn't get populated into an 11th gen because that part only comes up as 10th gen. But because we build our site from scratch and we know the parts that work, we're able to put them where they belong and what they actually work on, which a lot of companies don't do that. So it's just a little bit of info for you guys, what goes on in this industry. Um, you know, and yeah, I mean, private equity sucks. These companies, I mean, when I see people buying off Amazon online, especially car parts, I just get so confused because there is zero guidance or help or anything with ordering these parts. And, people will get them and then they go on the forums and ask, like, does this part fit? Does this work on my car? So it kind of sucks. And Jeff Bezos has plenty of money. So, yeah, I mean, Cobb's a little late to the game. I mean, the 10th gen's I mean, it's still a big market. Don't get me wrong. Cobb are trying to do some things. I don't know. They're trying with the Type R. They haven't really been that successful. I know people are still testing their Cobb units. So yeah, I mean, there's a ton of companies that just rebrand everything. I mean, luckily for us, I mean, look, there's companies out there that rebrand downpipes. I mean, that's been a thing for a long time. I used to sell one that was made by a company for the 9th gen back in the day because I was offered for it. And then I started selling it, and then they just started giving out to everyone. And it was supposed to be just with my company only. Luckily, when it comes to like our downpipes and our 11th gen parts, we manufacture everything ourselves, and I've engineered everything myself. Nothing is made by any Chinese company or any company in a ripoff. I bought it from them and put my name on it, like a lot of companies are doing now. So, wow. Well, I know of several pure turbos that have gone recently with customers. So, Andy being one of them. He got 2 turbos and they both were pieces of shit. So, the fact is, with all the pricing going up and everyone, certain companies are going to start cheaping out and trying to make better margins and cutting corners. I mean, that's what these private equity companies do. They don't care about they just care about number figures every month, and that's it. Some of them don't care about quality control, you know? Yeah, I mean, they get a lot of stuff made in Taiwan. I mean, a lot of companies are. I would say out of all the parts on my website, I would say probably a good 60% are made in Taiwan. I mean, it's a huge import market over there. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. The only thing with Taiwanese companies or Chinese, they can be very good. It's just the quality control has to be so strict at the factory, and also when it comes in, because you got to understand robots are doing most of their work, and they just go off jigs that have basically been made to manufacture parts and keep them being made to the same spec every time. So we did have. I wanted to bring this to light because someone commented on my. So I posted a video for the brand new RV6 downpipe. And I'm only going to talk about, I didn't reach out to Rich. I'm sure he's fine with me talking about it because I'd rather bring up real info instead of, people talking about it on Facebook and giving RV6 a really bad name, because I saw someone was doing that. So RV6 made this brand new downpipe. It has a Jesse catted portion on it, which basically don't throw codes. It's like the PRL one. Anyways, the casting they got, I have no idea where they get their castings done. It could be in China. It could be in the States. I don't know. Everything's welded here. The cats are from here. Anyways, there was a small portion on the turbo where the lip's supposed to fit on the turbo from the downpipe, and they didn't have it machined properly. So they had to write to every customer that bought one and get them all returned to RV6. And what RV6 did was re-machine the lip into the casting. So that's what actually happened. So I had a customer. I walked them through everything on the install yesterday. Everything went perfect. Fits perfect. So I think that's done. But I just wanted people out there to understand, that was the issue, and that's why, because there is some bad information online. The problem is if customers get a bad part, it really depends on the company to take care of them and how they take care of them. And certain companies, I'm not really going to mention names, but some don't take care of customers and they just don't believe customers. And that is why sometimes parts or manufacturers can get a bad name as their stuff is junk or shit, is because maybe they didn't take care of the customer and the customer felt, that they were, not taken care of. And then they went on and, spouted off information online, and then people read it and believe it. Everyone has two sides to every story. There's a lot of people on here that get parts. They don't know how to install. They mess them up, and then they blame the manufacturer. I see it all the time. I see it with people that return them to us. Oh yeah, it's brand new. I open the box and it's literally used junk. Happens all the time. So that's why, we have a lot of policies on place on our website when it comes to returns and all this type of stuff, because, getting scammed out of parts. I mean, I had a guy that returned coilovers a couple years ago, and he was like, they don't fit my car. And I said, well, what car do you have? And he had a Civic hatchback. And I said, well, you didn't order the ones for the Civic hatchback. You ordered the ones for the standard Civic. They don't fit. And he's like, well, I tried to fit them in and I noticed, can I just send them back and exchange? And I did. And he was like, man, I really need my car running. Can you ship me another set? So I shipped him. Unfortunately, I shouldn't have done this. I shipped him a set. I get his in and I open the box and they are used. He basically tried to install them and then used a screwdriver to chip away the coilovers so it would fit into the knuckle. And, then I'm out, $1,000 on coilovers. So, yeah, I mean, that happens all the time. I mean, you're seeing companies have to compete against other companies for, pricing, and they want bigger profit margins. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, I make barely any money on our downpipes that we make, hardly any at all. I made them because I thought it was a cool idea and it gets our name out there more. And were looked at as being someone that's bringing a quality, great part to the marketplace. It wasn't for me to make a ton of money on. I could literally send one of mine off to China and make 60, 70, 80% profit, but I'm not going to do that. So, yeah, I've learned my lessons. Obviously, I started this industry, unlike a lot of people that were maybe in it and then used a lot of their customers that they had built with a shop and then went behind their shop and went and started their own business. Um, I basically built this with never being in the industry ever before. Um, I didn't know anything about it. I just was like, man, I have a lot of knowledge and I love working on cars, and maybe this is something extra I could do. And I used to have a full-time job, and I worked that for 10 years before I even went full-time with Axion. I just, trying to quit your normal day job when you have a house payment and everything to just take on a company you never planned it to ever have as a full-time business is pretty crazy. So, yeah, I mean, this part with RV6 was definitely a missed part with machining, or the casting just never had the relief for the turbo. Because like when we do ours, it's completely machined out and everything. So I just don't know if it was missed or something. But anyways, they took good care of everyone and got them all fixed. So that's what matters. God, where do you guys see all this stuff, man? I feel like I'm late to the party all the time. I don't know. I'm not. I kind of always say like Axion's not the in group. We're not the cool kids that like all get along. I guess like I'm kind of left out. We're kind of left out from a lot of different companies now, and I have no idea why. I don't get it sometimes. I see a lot of businesses that I've helped and sent thousands of people to, and when it comes to them ever like, throwing us a bone or anything, like never happens. So, I take note of these things and definitely never going to use these people ever again for any help or anything. Um, but yeah, it's definitely, I find like with the business, we've been in it for 15 years now. And, I have companies that are way more involved with companies and they've only been in business for 2 years, 2, 3 years. So it's just weird. I don't know. Maybe I have to change some stuff. I don't know. But yeah, the other thing is I got kicked off all the forums because they want me to pay $65 a month to be able to be on there. So I've got to come to the point where I like, to me, paying 65 a month to be on a forum is just crazy to me. So, I think, personally for me, who's built several engines, I personally couldn't do it right now because I really just don't have the time for it. I think the hardest thing is just, you've got to follow all your steps. You've got to look at your clearances with the bearings, understanding all the steps and how things go ahead. Do not rush, and making sure that you do the I think the piston rings were always like the most confusing to me. It's just following the steps because the piston rings have a certain layout and the piston the way they have to be and go together. So you don't have oil blow by, going right past the piston. I think it is a good learning curve. The only thing is, what sucks is like, when you put this whole engine together, if you miss one step or miss something, number one, it could be a major failure or it doesn't run and then you're stumped because there's so many steps to go along when you're doing these things. So, the forum is the Civic X and Civic XI forum. So they want a $65 a month or $95 a month fee for me to be on there as a company, basically. Yeah, there's different tools that you need. I mean, it's not that hard. It's just knowing all your torque specs, and it's pretty much and just following all the steps. The same thing with like the transmission. But yeah, thanks for joining, guys. If you could do a thumbs up, I know most of you have. We got a few tonight. I should be posting some more videos this week and some more part stuff. Our 11th gen is still just kind of sitting, waiting for fab work to be done. So that's where I'm at with that car. Yeah, ask an Audi question. I don't know everything about Audis, but I might have some info. Yeah, I mean, the machine work when it comes to building engines is critical. I mean, if things are skipped or just not done right and tolerances are not perfect, um, you can easily have a spun bearing, which are not fun. So yeah, I mean, it's going to a trusted place that takes their time and does everything properly. It's a good learning curve. But yeah, ask the Audi question. Maybe I'll be able to help. We'll see. Um, so they are very reliable. Engine wise, transmission wise, you can't really go wrong. I mean, those motors are pretty much good to about 650, 700. Um, maybe even beyond that. The transmission and clutch and all that is good for, around that, if not more. Um, the only thing is just when it comes to working on Audis, VDubs, Porsche, BMW, number one, you have to have a lot of different tools because they use all these different I can't even remember the name of them right now. Um, but it's like the different 12-point heads and 8-point heads, and it's confusing some of the parts. Um, some of the engineering is like, in my opinion, is over engineered, I guess you could say. So some stuff you just look at like, why'd you make this part a complete pain in the ass to take out? Why does it have to be this way? But no, I had stage one tune on my TTRS. We had the DSG tune on there. I had catless mid pipes, full exhaust, catch can, the DSG catch can, intake. Um, so yeah, it's not that hard. The one tricky thing about the Audi was when you have to do the downpipes, you have to take the whole drive shaft out, and there's a special tool to do it so the actual drive shaft stays together. And if you don't have the tool and you mess up, the whole drive shaft is ruined and you need to buy a new one. So, yeah, that's one of the things with the Audi that you have to be careful of. I definitely can tell you, like, just the tune and the DSG tuner are massive. And I think if you just stayed with those two, you would totally love the car. Um, even the car on E85 tune, I mean, it'll make around 550 wheel. I mean, it's It's very quick. I mean, I think the best 60 foot I got in mine was a 2.8 60. Um, and I mean, it would move pretty quick. I just ended up getting rid of the car because I was always so scared to drive it. It felt like this collector car to me. And it just, the monthly payment on it was just ridiculous. Well, I use Unitech when it came to the transmission and tuning, and I really like their Unitronic. I really like their software and everything works fantastic. So I would definitely recommend Unitronic. I don't sell a lot intakes. The AWE ones are really nice. I can get the intakes and some exhaust stuff for the car. I thought the AWE exhaust fit really well and sounded great. So I just went with that, and it was perfect. But yeah, I used to have Audi stuff. We just kind of took the website back to being, when we did the revamp on the site, we took everything back to being just Honda only. So I can still get parts if you want. You can message me on Instagram and I can do a PayPal invoice, maybe save you some money. So, but yeah, let me know. Those are all good cars. I mean, the RS3 is fantastic. I mean, to me, it's probably one of the best sounding engines of all time. I mean, it's up there. Um, I mean, there's nothing like that 5-cylinder, and especially when you get to do the two-step with the DSG trans, and it's just, I mean, I really miss the car. I mean, I've actually contemplated on later getting another RS3, but we'll see. I mean, I basically just do everything hand tight with my hands, and then just come back and redo everything. It's the best way. All right, guys, I think I'm getting off for tonight, but we'll be back next Monday. More stuff to talk about. Hopefully should have a lot more info on Black Friday. Like I said, most are 10 to 11% off. So if you know what they were last year, they're probably going to be the same. So if you need stuff now and don't want to wait for everything to be sold out, you can hit me up. And maybe I could do a discount if we bundle something. It's always an option. Cool. Well, thanks everyone. I'll be back next week, and hold on. Vader's got a question. I'm only answering because it's someone new and I haven't seen him. If you have a question on the downpipe, shoot it in real quick before I get out of here. If you guys need any help, just always message me on Instagram or Facebook. Always here to help. And keep a lookout for the videos on the channel this week. We've got a couple coming. And we're going to put together a Black Friday deals one so everyone knows all the codes and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the downpipes are still being manufactured. So they're currently being welded up. So once they're done, they ship. And if you guys do have a question about your order, the email to actually email is support@axionperformanceparts.com. So I have downpipes now from other companies that have taken 9 months. So we didn't even start on our 2-liter downpipes till about 2 months ago, actually. So, yep. It's just what it is. It's trying to get tooling. It's trying to get flanges made. It's waiting on the cats to get here. Everything. So some of the stuff just takes time, and it's sold out everywhere. So like I said, here to help, and you can always email us. I always like to keep people in the know about their parts. I know it sucks, some of the back orders and waiting for stuff, but it's just, I can't do much about certain things, but I can tell you, you definitely have a downpipe in the first batch, which is pretty much almost sold out. So anyways, guys, till next time, thanks for tuning in. It's Mike. Thanks for checking out the channel. We'll see you.